Well, hey there guys, welcome to the first mood board Monday for 2018. Here I have a video for you guys, and here I'm using a gel plate. I have it on an acrylic block from years ago. It's a bigger one, and I'm actually using the gel plate as a stamp. Now, it didn't work too well with this stencil because I think it's just like too many fine details, so I took the stencil off and I kept printing with my gel plate. And I add water to kind of make the paint a little thinner, a little more watercolory. Of course, I'm working in a watercolor sketchbook here, so it works really well with that. And I decided to just kind of start with a few of the colors that we chose for this week's mood board on here. I'm just adding some more paint, and then of course wiping off my brayer. I have bubble wrap there that I add for texture. I've had that exact piece of bubble wrap for about 10 years now. Alright, so I added some other colors to the gel plate, and this is one of my favorite things, is where I just paint directly onto the gel plate with a kind of a card or a tool. This is a catalyst tool that I'm using, and I literally just use it as a stamp of the paint everywhere on there, and of course add some water, try a stencil, see if that works, and kind of continue on. I just got this the smaller gel plate this weekend, so it was my first time experimenting with it, so thanks for coming along on that one. I decided this week to pull out some stamps. I'm using Ray Missingman's stamp from her collection from Paperback Studios, and then later on I'll use one of my stamps from Paperback Studios. Actually, this is my mandala stamp from years ago that was with them in my stamp line. And then I have a few stamps that I carved myself that have broken and have interesting shapes now. Now, I kind of didn't really know what to do, so I just started writing, just with black ink. I had pulled the black out for something different I was working on, and I had way too much of it in my palette, and I couldn't let it go to waste. And so I just started writing with a brush in here, kind of inspired by some other artists that I've seen. And so I just wanted to add some writing in here. Now, this is the coastal paint. This is by Plaid. I used it at Creativation, and I really, really liked it. It's kind of like gesso and modeling paste. It's got the gritty texture of gesso, but it also holds a lot when it comes to going through stencils like I am here with my Catalyst wedge. And it's just something I really love, and you can mix it in and make pastel colors. It's pretty great. Now here I'm using the Brailleries. This is the purple glitter ink. You can find this at Hobby Lobby. I adore these paints so much. They are amazing, glittery, and they also have watercolor ink without any glitter in them. And I just really love using them. They're super highly pigmented, and so a little goes a long way. Now I wanted to add some collage bits in here, mostly because I didn't know what else to do, and so I just kind of look around on my desk and see what's going on and grab things and put it in there and kind of move forward with it. And here I'm trying to figure out what kind of stencil to use, what I want to use, and what I want to use this paper here for. So I just kind of I just kind of stapled it in there. I didn't really know what the plan was. I just kind of added it and kept going from there. Now just adding some more acrylic paint with my hand and my Catalyst tool. I like to draw into my paint a lot if I can. This is why I like using the jelly plate a lot. And as you can see, I don't use a brush too often. I really love painting with the Catalyst tools and palette knives and fingers and all that kind of stuff. Just find it really fun. And here I was just trying to stencil through a stencil I got. It's a Faber-Castell stencil. Didn't work really well until I took out my stenciling brush and was able to finish. And a lot of the choices here are just playing around, just seeing what you like. Like I'm still using the stenciling brush, didn't clean it off, still has black and purple on it, but use some, this is the fluorescent magenta from Golden. I love it. Actually like it more than the pink, but don't tell anyone. I'll get to that later. Now I just started adding some, this is deep red violet acrylic, just something that I like to do. I like to make little dark marks and then kind of go around them in white. And here I'm using that coastal paint as well. It's an indoor-outdoor paint, which is really kind of interesting. It's supposed to give it like that weathered on the coast look. I just really love the texture, and I can't wait to keep using it and do things like gelatos or colored pencils. Just because of the texture, it would be really great to play with. It would really hold a lot. And of course, I'm impatient, so I'm doing this while it's drying, so everything's turning purple, but that's all over our mood board, so it kind of works. Just add a little bit more here and there and all over and try to figure out where to go next. And I wish I could say that I plan out things, but I don't really. Now this is glitter paint. This is from Plaid. This glitter paint is the bomb. It's amazing. I adore it too. Lots of new stuff that I adore. But I had to add some glitter all over my page because why not? And then I decided that piece of vellum up there looked really not good. I really didn't like it. So I just kind of made some of these kind of like humpy shapes. I don't know. I really like them. Been painting them for years and years and years. And I go over the middle because I don't want it to look like it's just on one page in the spread. So I try to have things overlap over that center mark there. This is more of the gray I brought in. I was going to kind of, I don't know. I don't like wasting paint, so I just keep trying to find places where I can put the paint. And then I realized one of the little humpy things there didn't have both lines, so I kind of had to go and fix that, of course. Let's see. All right. And then I had some scraps. And I'm really a big fan of like stapling things in, not gluing them and having them exposed and overlapping and all that kind of stuff. It's kind of with my deconstruction phase that I really haven't gotten to do a lot of yet with mood boards, but I'll get there. And then here I went over the words because for a while I was working on this page, I didn't want the words to be covered up, and it was kind of keeping me from going any further. It was keeping me from doing much on these places because I wanted to preserve the writing. And then I decided, well, no, I want to layer so it looks good together, and I put paint all over the words, and look, you can just retrace them with more black paint. Now, this is me playing with some of Dina Wakley's scribble sticks. These are really fun to play with, and they're not as smooth as the Caran d'Arche, but I like the colors, and they're just really easy to pull around and bring with me everywhere. And they're pretty good. I like how they react with water, and so I just kind of like scribbled all over the place just to have fun. I wanted to see, like I said, how the coastal paint was with things like pastels, and it was really fun to try that out on there. And I think next time I'll, add some water. Now this is a stamp from my line with Paperback Studios from years and years ago, and I didn't get the best impression of it, so I kind of just filled everything in with the black paint I had left, and I have no idea how it stayed wet this long because it was black paint from like the beginning, and this took about an hour to do the whole thing. So I just kind of filled in the spaces on there, added some cheeks, wanted to add a little more detail, realized I didn't feel like there was enough fluorescent, so this is actually fluorescent pink that I'm kind of just adding with my fingers. And then I tried to add the little dots of white in her eye, and let's just say it was a struggle between me and the journal page, and I'm pretty sure the black paint won this one. So I tried to kind of fix everything where I could, and then I just kind of decided to leave it and be okay with imperfection. And that's my page for Mood Worn Monday.